Alright guys, well I was sitting here practicing guitar a little bit since I don't get to play very often. Good, I have the volume off. I don't want to blast out the microphone on my laptop. There goes my old phone. Anyway, the point in making this video is while I was practicing guitar I had a little knock on the door. Got my package in. I know what my package is. I've been waiting on it all day. I ordered a new phone. I ordered what is the Blu Life 8. Blu is a small company out of Florida. I didn't hear about them until recently, and I was needing a new phone to replace this Galaxy Centura. It's got a crack in the screen, as you can see there. It's been there for about half a year, and I've had the phone for about a year. It's a cheap little piece of shit, basically. Anyway, so I decided to video opening up the phone, the new phone. Here's the box. I got the one in white. It comes in 4 different colors. We've got white, we've got neon yellow, we've got neon orange, and we have neon motherfucking pink. Those aren't really my colors. I would have gotten purple if they had a purple, or a black if they had a black, but they had neither of those, so I went with white. The stats for the phone are shown on the side of the box. It has 4G. It has an octa-core 1.7 gigahertz CPU. It has a 5-inch display, 720 by 1280. It's got Blu's infinite view, and if I remember correctly from the reviews I've seen of this phone, basically it makes it so that it doesn't distort the color of the image or anything when you tilt the phone. I think that's what it's referring to. Don't quote me on that. The main camera on the back of the phone is 8 megapixel, and the one on the front of the phone is 2 megapixel. I think the camera on this phone, it only has one. I think it's a 3 megapixel, so it's going to be a bit of an upgrade, definitely. It's got 180p video recording. It's got 8 gigabytes internal memory. It's got a gigabyte of RAM, and it's got a micro SD slot. It comes, well, actually, this says it comes with Android KitKat version 4.4. From what I read online for the stats, it was supposed to come with version, is it 4.3? That's Jelly Bean, I think. But it has an update for KitKat. Maybe they went ahead and updated it to KitKat, which I was going to do anyway, so that's not, you know, any sort of big deal. I don't mind, I don't care. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this box open. Set that to the side. I went ahead and cut the tape. Now let's get this thing slid open. Now, what comes inside the box, from what I've seen, they've put in a lot of stuff that most manufacturers do not include. First, on top, obviously, is the phone itself. I'll slide it out. It's got, the case is closed, but it doesn't have the battery in it yet, and it's got protective screen cover for when it's in the box. You know, just things that's usually on phones when you first get them. Really nice looking. It's massive. It's way bigger than any phone I've ever had. Here's the side-by-side. It's just massive. I know there are phones bigger than this, but this is definitely the biggest phone I've ever had, and it's really thin. It's thinner than this phone is. Let me rotate them about the same, see if I can get a good view of it. It might be hard to tell because my laptop only has a 1 megapixel camera. It's basically a gaming laptop that they threw in a webcam as an afterthought. But if you can see that, the new phone is way thinner than the old phone. Next in the box is the battery. Battery, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have to go into detail about that unless you want to know the stats on it, but it's not a big deal. From what I've read, it has pretty good battery life. I think I'm not going to worry about the can't remember the wording. Basically, when it's on standby, I guess is what was. It had obviously what should be a long life, but when it's on talk, it said it had about 15, maybe a 14-hour lifespan. Anyway, and then we have more stuff up in the case. Stuff that most manufacturers don't include. We've got a little protective silicone, I think it's silicone, phone cover, protective covering. We have what usually comes with phones, a charger, you know, USB 8 cable and a USB to a wall charger. Next, we have a set of tangle-free earbuds with size adapters. They have the gummies. Owner's manual. And a screen cover. So that's pretty badass. I'm not going to worry about putting on the screen cover and the phone case on this video. I'm going to do that off of video. Yes, I know I mess with my hair a lot. I get really OCD about it. Shut up, people. Shut up. Anyway, so let me go ahead and get the cover off of this phone. Now that's nice. Now I can't see it, but the capacitor, you can't see it in this picture unless you can see the faint line going across there when I've got that glare from the... See, there's my laptop. When I've got the light from the laptop bouncing off of it, you can kind of see the distinction. This bottom row is where the capacitive buttons are, and then above that, all the way up to about there, is the screen. Now, from what I've seen, the cover, this should be pretty easy to pop off. There we go. You just basically pop the clips out. Anyway, this is a dual SIM phone. It's got 2 SIM card slots. I think it's just standard SIM and micro SIM, I believe is what it is. And then the SD card slot is right up here. And actually, I think I pointed that out backwards. This is where I think the full SIM is, and this is where the micro SIM is. And as I said, SD card slot. Awesome. I've got a Class 10 16 gigabyte SD card, so that's great. Let's see. Let me go ahead and pop this battery in. I'm going to put my SD card in it later, and after I make this video, I'm probably going to run to Walmart to get a SIM card. I'm on the straight talk plan. It's what I can afford. I'm a broke college student. By the way, this phone is $200, and it's got really good stats, especially for a $200 phone. Let's see. Slide the battery in. Yeah, okay. That's how it goes in. Woo! Alright, I've got it all pushed together. I've heard that these phones usually come with about 50% charge. We'll see what mine has. Here we go, it's starting up. It just says Blu products. By the way, Blu stands for bold like us. So. Alright, so I've got the welcome screen, and it just gives me a choice of language. You know, the usual Android startup. Your device is set up and ready to use. Finish. Alright, make yourself at home. You can put your favorite apps here. Okay. To see all your apps, touch the circle. That's obvious. Okay. Choose some apps. To add an app to your home screen, touch and hold it. I know that. I've used Android before. I guess not everybody has, though. And it looks like it did not end up restoring all my apps, since it changed screens before I could even agree to it. Anyway, let's go back home, because it was in the... And so that's what it looked... Yeah, you can't see that, can you? Nope. Let's see, I don't know how to change the settings on here so that you can see it, or else I would. So, unfortunately, this is just going to be overly bright, unless I can find a way to dim the screen. On my phone, I have a widget that I can use to change screen brightness, so let me see if they have it in the widgets here. Analog clock, bookmark, at least I think it's a widget that does that. Give me a second, and I'll find it. Ah, there we go, power control. Let's go over. No, that's not where I wanted it. Get back over one. Scoot it up. Okay. It was at full screen brightness, I think. Let's see. You can kind of see it now. It's still kind of bright, but that's what it looks like there. That's just the screen that I have the that I put the widget on. This is the front screen. I know you can't see it. It just has the camera, email, gallery, Play Store, etc. on the front screen. Let me go to the settings. Settings. Let's see what version this is running. Let's see, where's about this phone? No, this is just, okay, they changed how this is. My old phone is on Ice Cream Sandwich, so it's different than what I'm used to, obviously. Alright, about this phone. Not that bad, though. Okay, so it is on Android 4.2.2, so it's not on KitKat yet. I will be updating it to KitKat. They do have an update for KitKat. Let's see if I can get the Jelly Bean screen. Jelly Bean! Let's see if this does something if you hold it down. It's got all these jelly beans hovering around. Ooh, cool. And you can drag the jelly beans. That's badass. I'm sorry, if you didn't know you could do that, what you do is you see where it says Android version. You go to Android version and you start tapping rapidly, and then it'll bring up the screen. And sometimes there'll be a feature where if you hold it down, it'll bring up another screen. I'm running a custom ROM on this phone, so it's not what is usually for Ice Cream Sandwich, but let me show you what it does real quick. Let's see. And what you do is you go to settings, and then you go to About Phone, and then you'll see Android version, and you tap Android version, and then you'll get the screen. And as I said, this is a custom ROM, so it looks different than it might on your phone if you have an Ice Cream Sandwich device. You hold it down. The Android. But yeah. And that's just a neat little, I don't know if it'd be considered an Easter egg really, but it's a neat little thing that they include in it. I'm going to go home now. Let's see. Okay, awesome. I wasn't sure about this, but if you hold down the home button, it'll pop up the recently used app screen. And there you can always close the apps so that, you know, they're not running in the background. And it's giving me a message I have no SIM card. As I said, this has dual SIM slot, so it's giving me 2 messages about not having SIM cards. Of course, it's saying I have updates for my phone, or for my apps. Now, as you can see in the top right-hand corner of my screen, it has those 2 things that saying I have no signal. That still has to do with the fact that it has 2 SIM slots. Now, I don't know if KitKat will change this, but I do know that on Jelly Bean, there's no way to get rid of the second one. Even if you have only 1 SIM card in, it'll still show both of the signal bars. Unfortunately. That's going to be annoying, but it's not going to be that big a deal. Now, as I said, I have Straight Talk. To my understanding, how it works is if you have a CDMA phone like this is, then they will run off of someone's network, like Verizon, I think is who they were using for my phone. They were running off of Verizon's towers. Now, for GSM phones, I think it depends on the SIM card you have. They have T-Mobile compatible SIM cards, and they have Sprint compatible SIM cards. So I think if you have a T-Mobile SIM card, or T-Mobile compatible SIM card, I should say, I think it runs off of T-Mobile's towers and vice versa. So I looked up the service maps for T-Mobile and for Sprint, and it looks like T-Mobile has better networks here. What's odd is that for Sprint, where my trailer is, it's like just barely outside of, it's just barely in roaming for Sprint. It's outside of their own network. It, like, there's a road, and then there's the loop that my trailer's off of, and then Sprint's network basically goes around it. It doesn't cover the trailer park, but it covers everywhere outside of the trailer park. It's pretty shitty. So I think I'm going to get a T-Mobile SIM card, and obviously they offer 4G out here, and this phone is capable of 4G. This one only went up to 3G, so I should have faster network on this phone, in addition to have a faster processor, having more RAM, etc., etc., etc. So this is a huge upgrade for me. Now, I don't know how long the upgrade for KitKat takes, so I think I'm going to go ahead and see that. If I have to, I can always cut down the length of this video. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if I can figure this out, though. Wireless update. I think that's what I want. Android version 4.4.2. So, it is KitKat. Let's see if this does anything when I hold it. It starts spinning, and then it brings up an Android logo that looks like the KitKat logo. I'm having to tilt the screen so it doesn't blast out the thing. So, I am now running KitKat. Awesome. I guess that's all I'm going to put on this video. I'm going to run to Walmart, get a SIM card, and apply the screen protector, and figure out why I only have one window instead of 5. I'm sure there's a way to change that. I don't think they just got rid of them. I think you just are able to change that's what it is. I don't know. I haven't read anything about that feature. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy seeing this new and not so common device. Yeah, I'm totally being hipster like that. iPhones and Galaxies are too mainstream, right? Anyway, have a nice day.